Okay, just do it. Just cut it off. There it is. Here we go. That could have been future fruit. Oh, why am I doing this? Hey everyone, Natissa here, and welcome to You Can Grow Too on your plants. For example, your tomatoes, peppers, eggplants. They grow flowers, and if those flowers are pollinated, they will become your fruit. But sometimes with the flowers, you just need to cut it off. We might think it's an early harvest, but really, is it good for the plant? But if you want good fruit production, you need to think long term. When a plant is too young or is struggling, and you let that flower go and it turns into a fruit, it's going to use way too much energy to produce that fruit when that struggling plant or very young seedling needs to be focusing on good health and root development. And a little side note about this is when you hear people talking about taking cuttings for propagating a plant, they will always say to cut off those larger leaves and leave a few smaller ones, so that way that cutting is not trying to keep those larger leaves alive and it can focus on that root production. But today we are focusing on our fruiting crops. And I know a little bit about struggling seedlings because where I garden here in the subtropics of Florida, it is very hot. My native soil is actually just sand, and it's hard to keep moisture in, and the nutrition can be lower, and I am working on these things, of course. But another way I can help my struggling seedlings is by taking off some of those early flowers that are coming on as the seedling is struggling or as it might be just too young. And that way, like I said, it can start working on its health and root production. My drastic example is this year's spring seedlings. Life got in the way. I had a hard time tending them on time. They were overcrowded in their little sick cells, losing a lot of nutrition. The leaves were actually turning white. And not only that, my pepper plants were starting to flower and at some point even started to fruit. This is not good. Or you're going to the nursery, picking up some plants, and you see that those plants, those seedlings, have flowers on them. Like I said, you might think that's pretty good, but really the plant is struggling. They are not trying to give you an early harvest. They are preparing to die. They are trying to push out their fruit really fast so they can get their seeds out there. So of course, being that I knew that, I did cut off those flowers, and despite how horrible those seedlings look, I did plant them out in my garden. Some time has passed. I've been doing my best to kind of nurse them along, but they're still not the best shape that they should be in. They're still rather young, and some are flowering. So let's go take a look out in the garden and do what we got to do. So here in the middle Titanic bed, or what I like to call the Titanic beds, I have peppers growing up the middle. And as you can see, they are very small. They're looking a lot better than before, but very small. And they're already blooming. This one here, and this one here as well. And this one does have purple leaves, but that is because of the variety. It is a honey pippins pepper. But these seedlings are just so small, maybe like 6-7 inches tall, just like this. And that is not strong enough to hold the peppers on here. This seedling needs to focus on getting healthy and developing a very good root system so it can give good fruit production. So the only thing I can do presently, besides watering it and caring for it in every other way, I need to cut it off. I need to take off that bloom. So let us do that now. It's very tiny, very small. So I'm just going to go up and down the row and take off every little bloom I see. that baby one off. That's the babiest of the baby ones right there. That fruit would be no good. Alright. And in this container, next to this lettuce that I'm actually working on, and it should be out by tomorrow, is this very healthy looking shishito pepper plant. Dark green leaves. It's actually, yeah, about a foot tall, maybe a little taller than that. And these seedlings were from the same seedling bunch as the one we just saw earlier, with all of the blooms still on it, and it was struggling seedlings. But this is, like I said, from the same batch, and it's looking really good. And because it seems like such a strong and healthy seedling, or not really a seedling anymore, but a plant, I am going to leave all of the flowers that I see in hopes that they become peppers, because I do believe this healthy pepper plant can handle it. And right next to it, we have another pepper plant. You can see the leaves are very kind of shrivelly and deformed, and this happens a lot to my pepper plants, and it usually grows out of it. And I have noticed there is a lot of new growth with some healthy leaves, and this is budding and flowering, as you can see. And I think I might leave them on there because, I don't know, I just feel like it's gonna be okay. This is, again, a plant that is now about a foot tall, and the ones we saw earlier were definitely less than half this height here. So yeah, I feel like this is gonna be okay. And turning you around, actually next to where we were earlier, are these two pepper plants on the end. And oh, getting close to a foot tall. You can see that it was quite leggy at one point, and it was. And the thing we also need to consider is, how big is the fruit supposed to be on your plant? And I think this pepper plant might be a Cubanelle. So even though this seedling is looking a lot healthier and a lot larger than the ones in this bed that we looked at earlier, the fruit of a Cubanelle is decently large, and I'm not sure if this plant would be able to handle them, but I don't know. I don't know what to do. Do I take the flower off? Do I leave it on? Oh, I don't know. I admit it is very hard to just cut off those flowers, and I don't always do it when I should. But the fact is that when you have a seedling that is too young, or a seedling or a plant that is just struggling and it's starting to flower, do your plant and yourself a favor. Cut it off. Your plant will thank you with a harvest later. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. I think I will just take some of them off. Let's see. Yeah, let's try it. Let's see. I don't know. We'll just leave it there. Oh, I don't know.